Hi everyone, how are you all? So we are back with another session of Expert Roundup, and today we have our amazing guest with us. I would like to call Ab on stage. Ab is our guest for today, and today we are going to have a discussion on Amazon PPC, Amazon PPC strategies. What should be the do's and don'ts when it's come to Amazon PPC? So we have someone who has been part of Amazon industry for quite long time, and someone who has been into Amazon service business industry for quite 3 years. So Eb is with us. He's a PPC expert running a company, XP Strategies. They provide services to different high-end consumers, those who are selling on Amazon, seven-figure, eight-figure brands, six-figure brands, probably those who really want an expert service provider. So they work with Eb. So we have Eb with us, and he's going to share his experiences, how he started his agency, and how they help their clients, and what should be the takeaway from this live session, and how one can start with Amazon PPC, how one can be someone who is expert at Amazon PPC, especially because this is quite, I would say, this is one of the signs when it's come to Amazon, specifically when people wants to learn how Amazon PPC works, why this is considered as rocket science and something which is very difficult to do. So, hi, Eb, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Atif. I appreciate you having me on the show. The more I learn about the extreme e-commerce group, the more I'm very, very impressed with what you guys have been able to do.
It's pleasure listening to this. It's pleasure hearing this from you. So, I like, so you have been added in the group quite a few days back, and you have been observing how we people are working here in Pakistan, and how people are like learning things out from the platform itself. So, how's your experience so far with the community?
So it's definitely an interesting community. I don't think we have anything like this in any of the other groups that I'm in. Um, Obviously, it's a very large group. There's a good amount of people in there, but also there is an energy of people who want to succeed. There's an energy of people who are trying to improve themselves, people who are trying to improve their businesses, and I really see that there's a lot of potential for growth, just within everybody that's participating. And people are helpful. This is also one thing that I see that you don't see so much in other places. People who want to talk about the best ways to invest their time, people who want to talk about the best ways to invest their money, people who talk about their successes. I mean, I love seeing all of it. It's really, really great.
Thank you for your great word, and I hope you enjoy being in our community. And we hope, like, this is how we perform, like, for lifelong, as long as we can provide the services and we can provide this value to the community members. So we believe in giving a value to the community. This is something which comes first, and I hope you will see the numbers growing every month, every year. And I wish by the end of this year we can hit more than 1 million people on Facebook group. So definitely, it's an engaging community, and it's pleasure that you are in the community.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to hit 1 million people by the end of the show, but I'll do my best to make that happen.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, if let's start with your brief introduction. Like I already told people that you are into an Amazon space for quite a long time, and you have been into Amazon PPC space for past 3 years, helping sellers of different sizes to scale their business when it's come to PPC. So, if I want to ask how you started your career as an e-commerce seller and then shifting it to a service provider, so how this transition or happened, how you started your journey on Amazon.
Oh, okay. How far back do you want to go? If
As
we
long as
go,
you want to go, as big as you want.
so I'll try to tell you the whole story that from day one until today. I'll skip elementary school. We'll start just with work. um, so in 1991, I started working for somebody that was selling electronics. And in 1991, there was no Amazon, there was no e-commerce. We just used to put advertisements in magazines. We would put this camera is this price, and here's a phone number, and people would call up to make purchases. And we would take the orders. We would try to, sell a customer a warranty or an accessory, and then we would send off the orders to the shoppers. And that was our first experience dealing with people. Um, of course, after a few years, the internet did come along. And once I started going into business on my own in the late 90s, maybe 1998, 1999, we started to have Yahoo stores. That was the first place that people could actually shop. You could shop before that, but that was really the first place which gave a good system to sellers. Like a good dashboard to see the orders that are coming in, a good way to bill shoppers. It all went through one place. It was the first time. And we did a lot of business on that. And over the years past, the business shifted. So Yahoo stores was good for a few years. Then it shifted to people having their own websites and selling on Google, via Google Ads. Then, of course, eBay had its moment for a year or two where it was number one of everything. And then, of course, Amazon came along. And since maybe 2009, 2010, Amazon has been number one. Not even close, of course, as everybody sees. There's Shopify, there's Zulily, there's all different other platforms. But really, if you want to make the most sales, the place that has the most business is Amazon. So I've been on Amazon. I was selling on Amazon since 1999, and I had a business partner. And in 2018, I had the opportunity to help a couple of people that I knew with their Amazon accounts. They asked me for help based on my experience. And when I looked inside the accounts, I said, all of my experience matches even different product categories. This is a friend that's selling shoes, and what I see, I understand because of my other experience. I said that, and I was always the person that was managing the ads for my accounts. And it was the part that I knew the best. I understood, positioning the business, positioning the products, positioning the quality of the listings. I had a good understanding of how everything always connected, and being able to do it for other people was very interesting to me. So, I worked on it a little bit more, and it sort of turned into a business. And then it really turned into a business to the point where I liked it and wanted to pursue it more than my selling business. So I worked out the details with my partner. Now he's my ex-partner. And now, since really the beginning of 2019, I've just been managing advertising for Amazon sellers. Of course, from 2019 till now, there have been hundreds and hundreds of changes of all different kinds, new kinds of ads and new ways that Amazon ranks things and different things that they consider important. And it's an interesting world to understand all of those changes and to put them in place for a good number of sellers, and then to see those changes take effect. So I've been liking it very much.
Okay, so you started with this PPC service business in 2018, and you start with helping a couple of friends, and then it turns into a full-fledged business that you are doing right now. So,
Yeah.
still, are you selling on Amazon?
I am not. Yeah, I'm not selling anymore. What happens is selling requires a lot of work. Besides whatever work goes into advertising, managing inventory and managing shoppers and all of the details that go along with actually selling yourself, it's too much to do, plus run a second business. And I wanted to give my focus to the one business without taking any distraction away from it. So it's a long answer to a short question, but the short answer is no, I'm not selling at all anymore.
So, so if I ask you, what do you enjoy most, selling on Amazon or providing services to the people and helping them?
So it's definitely different. There are some great things when you sell. There are days when you have your best day ever and you feel so good. Whatever your size is, if you're selling $100 a month or if you're selling $1 million a month, it's always possible to have your best day ever,
Yeah.
and when you hit that best day ever, you feel great. Providing services, you don't usually have a best day ever. You might feel good at the end of certain days. There's other challenges in other days, but you don't get that big rush of sales coming in. That's your product. So there are certain things I definitely miss about selling, but there's also things about providing services which are fantastic. So there are situations where you come into a good situation for a seller and you help them a lot, and you really feel a sense of accomplishment. There have been accounts I've taken over which have done very poorly or which have done very little business up until we started working together. And when I see the things that I'm able to fix and I can fix them, and I say, my expertise worked perfectly for this seller, it's tremendous feeling. It's very, very rewarding. So each one has its pluses and minuses. It's like having two kids. How do you say which one you like better?
It's really hard to say. It's impossible to say. I would say.
They are
If
rewarding in different ways. I mean, now I am not selling anymore, so anything that I'm talking about is from my memories. But there's still very many good memories. There's of course many challenges, just like we all know. Sellers have a lot of challenges today, and even though you see sellers complaining about things, I can tell you, I've had challenges for 25 years selling. It's not something new. I can tell you a story where one time we were selling in Christmas time, my first Christmas in business. And we were doing, we had salespeople picking up phone calls. There's noise, there's buzz, there's conversations. And I get a phone call from the person that processes our credit card company. And they say, "Hi, is this Abe?" I go, "Yes." They go, "Hi, I'm from the credit card company. I'm just calling you to tell you that you hit your limit for the amount of business we can do for December. And you can't process any more credit cards for the month. We'll start over again in January." Now, this was on December 6th. So as you can imagine, that was a very, very bad day. And we had to negotiate and try to figure out a way to process and accept credit cards. And we were able to do it. Thank God we were able to work with them and provide them the assurances they needed to be comfortable. But there's nothing in the world like getting a call like your business is closed until the end of the month. So it can be interesting.
Yeah, I would say, and it is always great to skim through memories that you have, the good and bad both. So it always helps you overcome the situation, the toughest one. So if let's hop onto our Amazon, like on Amazon journey and things that have been changed throughout the years. How do you see it? Like, because this is one question that usually we receive from people, that is it a good time to start with an Amazon business? Things have been changed over past couple of years, and we see every single month thing has been getting changed. Things have been becoming hard for new sellers. So how do you see it? Is it a challenge for new sellers, or if how?
Okay, so I'll tell you, the biggest thing that changed, and it's been changing like this for a couple of years, is that Amazon is not so much a place for a individual person to come in and sell whatever is around. If you would start 5 years ago, people were going around and they were saying that, hey, selling on Amazon is easy. Anything you have in your house or anything that you find a good deal on, you can just put it and sell it. Easy, easy. And you don't need a lot of money, and you don't have to do a lot of work, and you can do it in your spare time. This was a big idea that was going around, and it was true at the time. Amazon wanted as many sellers as possible, and they made it easy to sell. What has changed is that Amazon has become much more like, not Amazon has always been a real business, but it has become much more traditional in that if you want to succeed on Amazon, you need to have a real business in place. So you need to have the right corporation structure, and you need to have insurance, and you need to have inventory planning in place, and you need to have quality products, and you need to, like, all of the things that go along with the regular business, and they always went along with the regular business. These things are true now. They weren't true in the past, and it's going to get worse. Not worse, it's going to get more strict. So the people that I see who succeed the most on Amazon these days are the people who, I'm talking about new sellers. The new sellers who succeed the most on Amazon are the ones who have experience in regular business. So if somebody has a store already, they have a retail storefront and they're selling toys. They already know what toys sell well, and they understand that not all of their inventory is going to be successful, and they understand about a test buy, and they will go into Amazon carefully, and they understand the rules. Or if you have someone who has a wholesale business and they already have accounts with some retailers, and they already know how to follow the rules of those retailers. They know you can't ship late, and they know the product has to have a kind of packaging which is going to look good on the shelf, and they have to know that it's going to be attractive. They know all these things. Those people, when they get on Amazon, they're already used to all of it. Nothing is a surprise, and they're not going to think that Amazon is picking on them, and they're not going to think that, oh, Amazon is trying to steal my money or like this. No, they understand the business, and they understand the competition, and they understand that there's going to be a lot of rules. And when they put all those rules into place, they will absolutely succeed. So again, a long answer to a short question, but the biggest change is that you have to run your Amazon business like a real business. And the more you are careful and professional, the more you have a chance to succeed. The more you think about it like it's just something to do with my time, or I have a few $100s, but I should start an Amazon business. This is the least likely way to succeed. That's what I see.
Yeah. Great words, actually. I would say a long answer to a short question,
Yeah.
definitely. And it's an explanation. Actually, it's a great explanation for people who are starting with an Amazon business, and this is something that needs to be considered before starting a business, because this is not something which usually what we usually heard, that people want to start it as a passive income. Because no, so it's okay to have a passive income, but this, you need to consider Amazon is a full-time business, right?
Oh, yeah,
Because
for
it
sure.
needs your effort. Yeah, it do need a whole lot of effort, because although doing FBA saves you a whole lot of time, you don't have to handle your customer, you don't have to reply to your messages because they are not going to send it, you don't have to handle return, refund, all this thing. But still there are so many other factors that goes into Amazon business every single day. You need to keep an eye on your account, you need to check the scores, your account matrices, your NCX, your inventory, your PPC, your campaigns that you have been running. So it's a whole lot of work that
Oh,
you need
yeah.
to, yeah, you need to go through every single day.
Listen, FBA saves you one piece of work, but it
Yeah,
just replaces the rest of your time is filled up with the other pieces of work. Nothing is it doesn't take away all of the work that needs to happen. And even the FBA part needs plenty of work. You have to keep track of the shipments that go inbound, and you have to make sure that goods are not lost. You have to make sure that Amazon is not taking too much of your returns and sending it to shoppers again. There is a lot that goes on with it.
exactly. So let's discuss the one of the key part when it's come to Amazon. So most of the people, they usually had tough time when they launch product on Amazon. It's already been there. They are running giveaway campaigns, or they are running influencer marketing campaigns to rank their product and to launch their product. One thing that comes is Amazon own advertising tool, which is Amazon PPC, and by far it is one of the most strongest tool out there, because Amazon has placed PPC almost everywhere. You see sponsored product almost everywhere. So how do you see it? What if someone with a zero experience, I would say, wants to start with PPC, then what should be the key factor that he should know before starting or running campaigns? So how do you see it? What should be the right way to do it, if I ask you?
So I will give you two answers to that question. The
Would
first thing,
love to
which is
hear.
very, very important, is to know what is the reason you're advertising. So people use PPC and they say, "Oh, PPC makes the sales," but it's not as simple as that. Some people use PPC to help grow rank of a product which is not selling. Some people use it to keep their product on top. Some people use it to protect their brand. So if you have Diet Coke, you don't necessarily need to convince people who want to buy soda to buy your Diet Coke, but you do want to show advertising so that people don't take a chance of buying Pepsi or some other soda. So one way of advertising is to protect your brand. And there's a few other ways, but as a seller, you need to understand and to think about the reason why you are running ads. Once you understand the reason, you will be able to have a good idea of whether you should spend a lot of money, whether you should be careful and maybe try not to spend as much on bids or on budgets. and it will guide you as you see how things run. You know, some people might be okay with a high ACOS because they're trying to capture rank and sales in the beginning, and some people can never afford it because their margins are low. That's fine. Whatever the situation is, you just have to understand where you are at to start. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is going to be to try and keep control over whatever you're doing. A lot of people will immediately create 20 different campaigns. And if they're starting, they don't know how to even watch 20 campaigns. So you really want to be careful about how you start things off. If you start off with a few campaigns and a few keywords, you will understand what's the reason you put those keywords. Instead of just picking a very long tail, you'll be able to understand and watch how those few keywords are doing in the beginning, and you can watch your budgets each day and understand where you're going with them, if you're hitting your goals or not. Now, this is the careful way to do it. It's probably not the best advice if you want very fast or very big success, but it is the way to start. And that is the way that you're going to learn the platform and how to understand what you're doing on it.
Yeah. So two things that you need to be considered while you are starting with a PPC. First, need to know why you are running PPC. What is your main purpose? So let's say I just started with a new launch today, and like it's a completely new launch, and I've been running a giveaway campaign. So what should be the PPC structure that I should like simultaneously running with the launching and ranking campaigns and on initial days?
So on the initial days, the system that works best is one in which at the beginning you explain to Amazon what is your product, because Amazon can tell anyway what your product is. And of course, hopefully you did some research to know what the right keywords to target are. But even though the keywords are in your listing, Amazon doesn't have any sales history or understanding of how well you convert. So you want to push those keywords very aggressively right at the beginning. Can you hold on 1 second? I just want to get it a little bit more quiet in my office. All right. I think as soon as I said that, everybody started whispering, so that's good. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is explain to Amazon exactly what your product is, and you want to explain what you want to rank for. So if you're selling apple cider vinegar gummies, for example, you really want to tell, even though the words are there, and even though your pictures are for that product, and even though you're in the category for that product, you still need to drive traffic to that product, because until there's traffic, Amazon doesn't see you showing up for that. So you want to run exact match keywords directly to that product so Amazon sees traffic and clicks to it. You also want to run directed product targeting campaigns to your competitors, the ones that you think you can convert better than. So if there are sellers who have a poor quality listing or a much higher price than you, or they don't have good ratings, your product has a good chance to convert against them, even though you don't have a history. And those conversions also help how your product is going to be positioned in the market. So you want to do both of those things to start on day one. After a few days, a week or so, once you start to have traffic and sales and clicks, then you can start to use a wider range of advertising. So you'll put in additional match types like broad and phrase. You'll start to run an automatic campaign, because now that Amazon has a better idea of what your product is, Amazon can use their automatic information to put you in the best spots. Whereas in the beginning, if they don't know what your product is for an apple cider vinegar gummy, they're going to show you for the word gummies. Now, you're not a good selection for just the word gummies, and you're probably not a good selection for the word apples, and you're probably not a good selection for the word 60 milligrams. None of those are good, but unless Amazon knows what your product is, they will show you, and they will take a lot of spend from you for those terms right at the beginning. So you want to train Amazon before sending them to run and put you everywhere. Now, you still have to watch for those things. Whenever you start an automatic campaign, the best practice is to check those automatics every single day for the worst terms that are running, and you'll have a lot to clean out.
Greatly said. So what I have seen usually people start running with an auto campaign and they keep it running for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they usually don't remove the words that are not that are the worst word, and probably they should consider putting it in a negative campaigns. So Amazon start so people don't search it and buy it through those specific words, and Amazon does not show it on the ads, especially to these products. So I have a question from Abdullah, and here's this is on the screen. Please elaborate if we are getting clicks and conversion on rest of the page and not getting on product pages, and top of the search, how to target on rest of the page, how to increase bids and budget, and how to get move more out of it.
Okay, so if you're getting clicks and conversions for rest of page, but not for product pages and top of search, that's the reason that you have the modifiers. Amazon has modifiers that you can add in, and you ideally want to target top of search because that should be where you're getting the best results. This is something where, depending on what your budgets are and depending on how long the history of your product is, different placements will have different effects. So if you have a product which is very new, you will probably have to spend more on the modifier to get to top of search. And at the same time you're doing it, you're probably going to have a lower conversion rate because your product is new and you're putting yourself next to products which have lots and lots of reviews. So you want to be careful about it. Typically, it's something which takes time. It takes experimentation, and you'll find that, or what I find rather, is that starting off with a lower modifier, something like 10 or 15%, and changing it maybe once a week or so, will get you to your goals. But again, the biggest things is not even the placement modifiers. A bigger thing which affects conversion rates and a bigger thing which affects the quality of PPC is, for a new product, is your review counts. So when you get from 0 to 10 reviews, you will see a boost. When you hit 20 reviews and then 100 reviews and then 1,000 reviews, each of those numbers, immediately you see an effect. Once you tip it, when you go from 997 to 1,000, you see all of your metrics get better right afterwards because you have become a better quality result for those searches. With something that's very new, the shoppers don't know what you are. It's going to be harder for them to make the purchase, and that's not going to change for a while, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing just pop up in my mind, and I want like so it's a crazy scenario actually. I would say, uh, if I'm having a product which usually sold for $7, and if I have a product which sold for $20 or $17. So how does it work, right? Running a PPC campaign on a $7 product and running a PPC on $17 product. On $17 product, probably you can have a higher margins. On a $7 product, you have a low margin because the product price is very low. And if your cost is too high, 60%, probably, or 50%. So how well does it perform in these situations? So number one thing, I think we have lost Ab and he's joining. So just give him some moment. I think there's something wrong from his side. Just give me a second. He's here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened just now.
No, I already told people that probably he went out of the room and he's coming back. So yeah, the scenario with PPCs, running a PPC on a small product with a low selling price and running PPC on a higher product with higher margins and a higher selling price. So how do you see it? Which is more profitable and which is more right?
So this is part of what goes to what I said earlier, in which you need to understand the goals of your PPC. Part of the goals of your PPC is understanding your product and understanding what is possible to do. So when you have a $7 product, as an example, it is almost impossible to have a low ACoS. So just if you count how many clicks you need to make a sale, and if you count the cost of the clicks, it's almost impossible to have that low ACoS. Even if you spend 25 or 30 cents a click, if it takes 10 clicks to make a sale, and 10 clicks is the average across Amazon, a 10% conversion rate, that's already $3 out of your 7, and that's 40%. That's if you're average. When you're new, your averages are going to be lower. Or if you have a lot of competition, your CPCs will be higher. So it's going to be very hard to get a very low ACOS on an expensive product. What is much more likely, and which is what I see with inexpensive products, is that you have to work on getting organic rank. And when you have an organic rank for that $7 product, you will make a lot of organic sales. And the PPC sales should be hopefully a small part of the business overall, and it counts less. So if you are making 10 sales organic, or if you're making 10 sales by ads, and you're making another 90 sales by PPC, or by organic rather, that 70% ACOS or that 60% ACOS turns into 6 or 7% total. And that's where your margins are going to be. And it's what you have to do. If you can't rank that product organically, it's not going to work at all. It's just not. That's one of the reasons you should be careful with launching low priced products, because there is very little room to, there's very little room to lose money. When you have a product that costs $17 or $170, you can spend a lot on clicks to make each sale. I have one client who their average selling price is $250. It's just, that's the category of product. And we can spend, when he launches a product, I can spend $70 a unit on clicks, and it's fine. My ACOS is 22%. That's it. It's fine. Now his margins are probably a little bit lower than the guy who's selling a product for $7, but he has more room for dollars and clicks. So that's going to be the best scenario overall. Now with something in between like $17, you have to find a balance. You want the advertising to try and be profitable, but at a minimum, you want it to cover your costs. So if you can get to break even on a product that's below $20, all the organic sales count for your profits. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that do make sense. And this is why normally we usually say do not go with such low price product. The minimum should be at least $15 and above, and where you have a huge margins, like probably 35% and up. So considering with all this scenario, there is another phobia that usually people have when they launch products on Amazon. The phobia is ACOS phobia. And when they launch product, they see a cost of 70%, 60%, and they lose everything. They start crying, oh my God, why there is so much cost? How we can bring it to 20% or 10% or 15%? So because usually you are working with clients, so how you people usually get up with this ACOS phobia that most of the people have?
So the first thing that we do, and this has to do with having a good relationship with the person you work with. We were talking about this earlier, about how it takes time to build a relationship and to build a reputation. When you have a good reputation and when you have a good relationship, you can explain to shoppers that it's going to take some time until you get, or rather the client, it's going to take some time until you get to a low ACOS. You can explain about total ACOS, all of the things that we just discussed, basically. You'll be able to explain those things and have the shopper understand it, or the buyer understand it, or the client understand it. When it comes to somebody that you just met them yesterday, they want 4%. They want 8%. Why do they want 8%? Because they see all of the social media with all of the best results, and they think, okay, I'm signing somebody new. You better be able to do this. But if they have a relationship with you, or if they have some experience seeing you on social media, they will hear about the good situations. They will hear about the bad situations. They will hear you discuss how expensive products have lower ACOS, but less expensive products have higher ACOS, and they will understand it. They usually understand it anyway, but having the relationship is one way to reduce that ACOS fear. Something else which is important is maybe not every client is worth signing. A lot of people, if they are asking you for unreasonable things on the first day, they will make you hate the money you get from them. Whether you're getting from them $100 or $1,000, when you see your email box fill up with messages from them every day, and your phone is getting texts and calls from them every day, it's not worth it. And they're asking you for things that are unreasonable. So it does all come to the relationships. That's the short answer to that question, is when you have a good relationship with the shopper, or with the client, that's going to be what cures them of this phobia.
This is the interesting one, actually, I would say. And the thing that you have said here, that it's make you have this, it makes you hate this money that you get from such clients. Or definitely, because when you see your inbox full of a client every single day and he start asking for something that's unbelievable, there's things that cannot be achieved, actually, unrealistic. I would say unrealistic goals that you usually set when your client sets. So coming back to a little towards an Amazon PPC. So, if I ask you, as you have been part of this Amazon PPC industry for quite 3 years, so if I ask you, what should be your one advice or one ranking or tip? Actually, I would call it a tip, a secret tip that you usually don't share with other people. So, to our for our platform and for our people, so what should be the one PPC secret tip that you are going to share here today, so people can learn it and scale it?
So you're not paying me enough to get a real secret, but I'll give you something which is definitely very useful, and something which you probably will not hear all the time. And that is that not every product is worth advertising. You're going to get a lot of times an account with 10 products or with 150 products, and it is going to be the best use of your time and the most profitable use of the time for the account just to manage the best SKUs. It is easy to take a product which sells 300 and move it to 800 units. It's much easier than taking a product which sells 3 units and moving it to 15. So you are much better off taking those best sellers and focusing on them and giving much less attention to the products which are just never going to be your best sellers. Just don't focus on them, and explain to the client that the way you're going to grow is by moving the best sellers much higher.
Oh, thank you so much for this tip. We have a question from Vasil, and he says, if a product has low margins, so as you advise in this case, we should work on organic ranking, but how's this possible without PPC?
Well, you would use the PPC to help get that organic ranking. The PPC is going to be part of the picture, and it is going to help you get that organic ranking. But we're just talking about how to understand the PPC numbers.
Yeah, thank you. So people actually love you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they love you. They keep sending this. Okay. So, what is the right way to choose right keyword for PPC campaign from Hamza?
So there's a lot of ways to do that. That's for sure. The way that I do it with my clients is now one thing you have to keep in mind. There's 2 times when you choose PPC. There's 2 times when you choose keywords. The first time when you choose a keyword is when the product is being developed, because you're looking for a product and you're doing searches on Amazon and you know how you looked for your product. So that's the first time that the keywords get into the picture. Now, when it comes to advertising, that's obviously much later in the process. So when it comes to the advertising, the way that I do it is like this. I start off by asking the client, what are the keywords that you think are most important? How do you think a shopper is going to find your product? So if I have on my desk watermelon seeds, the thing that I would ask my client is, what is the way that the shopper finds your product? Like if you were looking for your product, what is the way you would find it? Tell me what those keywords are. And even though it should be obvious, and I tell them this, listen, even though I can look at it and I have an obvious idea of what the keywords are, you tell me also what you think they are, just in case something is different from how I understand it. And once they give me those 3 to 5 to 8 keywords, which are the most important, I put those into Amazon. I get the top competitors, the top 3 to 5 organic competitors. I put those into Helium 10, and then I start refining down. So I filter out the terms that are organic 1 to 20, because I don't want something that these guys are ranking for on page 9. This is not so relevant. So I want something which they are on page 1 for. Then I'm going to filter out for something which is at least 100 searches. Or sometimes, if the competition is very strong, I will filter the other way. I will filter out to maximum 2,000 searches, because the search with 52,000 searches, I'm not going to be number one for that. And I'm not going to beat the guy who's number one. So I want to search the longer terms, the ones that have less searches. So I'll put a maximum search volume of 2,000. And then each time I add a filter, I see what comes up until I get to 5, 10, 20 terms at the most, the ones which match my product, which I have the opportunity to rank for them, and which have enough search volume that we're going to be able to match what the client wants to sell. Because the first question is, how many units do you want to sell every month? If they want to sell 10 units, that's going to be a different approach than if they want to sell 10,000 units. If they want to sell 10,000 units a month, yes, we have to go after the search volume of 250,000 searches a month. If they say, no, we're happy, we don't have a lot of inventory, we want to sell only 100 units a month, I can leave this 250 searches, 250,000 searches, I can leave it. I can get my business without that, and I'm not going to have to spend that money for it. So first understand what the client is looking for, understand your product compared to the competition, and then search around for keywords that are going to help you get to that goal.
Oh, that's an interesting one actually, I would say. So whenever you have a low budget and you don't have much inventory, then go with the keywords that are long tail instead of targeting a keyword with a huge search volume in which you need to spend a lot and in which you need to make a whole lot of giveaways to rank the keyword. So it's something which is completely right to do it. So yeah.
I was going to say, one of the questions that I ask, the first question I ask people when I work with them is, how much inventory do you have and how much inventory can you get? If I do everything right and I sell everything very fast, are you going to be able to have more inventory to Amazon quickly? Or do I need to work with a different inventory picture? And this immediately has an effect, and it has to do with setting the goals with the clients.
Yeah. So one more question, and he was like, "Hey, Ab, my question is that how do you diagnose a listing problems when you take a client? Do you have a checklist, or how do you diagnose it?"
So I'll tell you, I should have a checklist, but I don't. The checklist is up here. Typically, what we do is if you want to create a checklist, it's really as simple as looking at every element of the listing and comparing it to the best seller in the category. So if you're looking at your watermelon seeds and you have a seller who is the best seller of watermelon seeds, you will take every piece of the listing and you compare. So you say, oh, my title only has 48 characters. The best guy and the top 3 guys all have 160 characters. I need to put more keywords in my title. Or if I look at my pictures and I say, oh, I only have 4 pictures. The best seller has all 7 pictures, and all of the best sellers has somebody sitting on the backyard eating watermelon seeds. I need a picture like this also. You diagnose piece by piece by piece, the title, the images. Does he have a video? The bullets. Do they all have A+ content? Because some categories, a lot of people don't care about A+ content, and putting it will help you be better. But also, you don't need to worry so much about it if you don't have it. Whereas if everybody has it and it's very powerful A+ content and you don't have it, you have something to fix right away. So you go through the listing step by step by step. Before that, I would actually go to the business report and check the conversion rates, because if the client has a very good conversion rate, the odds are their listing is doing well and you don't have to do so much work on the listing. Your PPC is going to be more important. If they have very low conversion rates, 2, 3, 5%, then you're going to want to spend more time fixing the listing before you spend a lot of time with the PPC.
Pretty sad. So, like, Sohail asked, what if the product does not stand with the competition either way? We compare rating and reviews and price wise. How to help such clients?
So this is going to be maybe not such a happy answer. When there is a product which does not compare to the competition, the price is too high and the listing quality is low and they don't have a way to fix it and they don't have a lot of inventory, this is a situation where you have to tell the seller, you have to tell the prospect that I might not be able to help you so much. And I have had clients like that where I tell them, you have a big challenge. I don't say your product is terrible. I don't like to use words like this. But one thing that I say is you will have a big challenge to make this sell well. And you explain that it's going to be hard to get good results. And if you have enough people that want to work with you in better situations, you want to chase the better situations. It doesn't feel good to fail. It doesn't feel good when the seller doesn't like you. And if you avoid those situations, there's less chance of them happening.
So perfect. And I think you have a relation with an SEO sites as well. People really says your answers are logical and well explained, and it clears the confusion that they usually have with the PPC.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, before I was on Amazon, I was selling on Google and on my own website. So I absolutely had to worry about SEO and I had to worry about keyword ranking. It wasn't the main part of the business. If I'm selling a Sony camera, I'm not going to compete with Sony for the actual top spots, But
Perfect.
of course, you have to have your listing be strong and you have to be methodical about it. There is a lot of testing. There is a lot of carefulness that you have to put into it. And you have to go through the things that don't work to notice them and to fix them.
Yeah, perfect. You said. So I think we are done with today's session, and it's pleasure having you here. It's pleasure listening to you. People actually loved it. I think people are still throwing some questions. Should we take another 1-2 questions if you're okay?
Yeah, sure. You got me.
Okay. Okay. So how to solve the issue of getting more sponsored order via video ads instead of getting more organic orders with a low margin product where the sponsored orders is in loss?
I am not sure I understand the question.
I
Do you
think
have
if he
do
can
you have
write the
a
question again. Yeah, I can
do
show
you
you
do you un-
again.
do you understand the question?
So
Okay, so
I think his question is towards video PPC ad instead of sponsored product ads.
if you want to get more orders via video, you have to look at a couple of things. The first thing is you have to make sure that there is a lot of search volume, because for some products where there isn't a lot of search volume, there aren't a lot of video ads to show. That's one thing. The second thing is that you want to make sure your bids are high enough for converting terms. And the third thing is you want to make sure that your video is a high quality video. It used to be that any video you put up would do fine. Like anything you put up would do fine, even if you shot it on your phone in your house. Now there is much more competition. The video ads are being produced with much higher quality. And if you don't have a high quality video, it's not going to convert and Amazon will stop showing it. So that, if you want to get more results via video, you need high quality content and you'll have to bid probably aggressively in some cases. Now, it does convert much better. So if a $1 CPC is high for sponsored products, a $2 bid for a video might actually do better because you're getting so much more engagement on a high quality video. So don't be as scared of the high bids, but keep in mind the bigger picture with the quality content.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Eb, for being here and sharing the knowledge. Actually, people really loved it, and it's pleasure having you here discussing Amazon PPC and overall Amazon. So I hope we can have another session for the community and for the engagement as well, for the community engagement when it's come to technical stuff regarding Amazon PPC. It's pleasure having you here.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the time. It was a great conversation. I definitely also look forward to having some more of these together.
For sure, would love to have more. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to our conversation. And it's pleasure that you people are here at this time of night. Probably it's 11 here in Pakistan. And thank you so much, everyone, for showing up here. And thank you, Eb, especially that you are here sharing your knowledge. And I think it's quite early for you. So people are inclined towards your technical analysis. Definitely looking forward to hear more from Eb. They actually enjoyed it.
Great.
So there are a few more. Thank you for the session. Your answer is too precisely amazing. When okay, so yeah, so would love to hear when you are coming to Pakistan.
Well, if anybody wants to bring me to Pakistan for a show, I'm happy to
Definitely, I
speak.
would love to. I would love to bring you to Pakistan. Definitely.
All right, I'm open.
Thank
My
you.
my passport is in good shape, so I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely would love to you to be here in Pakistan anytime. We are always welcome. And there is one thing. So we Pakistani people, we are more towards attending people, having conversation with them. So a very guest friendly people actually, and a crazy food here in Pakistan. You would love it.
Oh,
When it's come to food, you are going to be fan of it. So thank you so much, everyone. Once again, thank you, Eb, for joining in today and having a very good conversation with the people. They definitely love to see you in Pakistan
thanks,
anytime
Atif. I
soon.
appreciate it.
Thank you. So, guys,
All
we
right,
are signing off.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye.